Sorry about that. My memory was full on my internal drive, and I moved to the SD card drive, which I also need to get a bigger drive. Okay, woofer of the month, Infinity. We actually have these cones. It's probably not Infinity, but it's. I remember they were talking about this. Companies like Focal, Gefco, sold and still framed drivers do yourself. Finally, Infinity, which is the what do they call these? I forgot what they call them. They had a name for it. Molded. Well, it's not graphite. It's IMG, but it has like a pattern in it. It's kind of pretty looking. Anyways, we have these cones if you're looking for them. So they're good for like home audio and just basic small woofers. These are 300-watt woofers. And I think I was talking about, let's look at the specs real quick. As tested, 5.5 cubic foot. Again, especially back then, when you have a really loose suspension, that provides a much higher sensitivity because it's less resistance. And so it allows the woofer to more freely travel. The problem is that your VAS is very large, because you don't want to put it in a 5 cubic foot box. That's really oversized, and you'll lose a lot of power handling. So what you do is usually come in, let's see what they did, 2 cubic foot. So they did it in a 2 cubic foot box. Let's see, is that sealed? Roll off. Yeah, that's a ported box. And then they do an augmented one where you can make it a little bit bigger, and then you can port higher than the FS, and that gives you a little bump at the end. So, somebody was asking what's the best, highest performing enclosure. And I was like, well, if you want to be a purist, sealed is. So, but you have to have a really soft suspension and a very powerful motor and a very low FS in order to achieve what you want. Really, the better way to go is with a heavier MMS and a very, very powerful motor, and then go free air. That's if you want the bottom octave. The problem with free air is that it's not efficient at all. And so it's like using Class A amplifiers. It's like, do they work? Yes, And so really the application for that, it would be like if this was a home theater setup, because there's a basement right underneath here. And what you do is you cut a hole in the floor and you put like a air conditioning vent on it, and or actually something a little beefier because that's going to fucking rattle. And then underneath that is a box that sits up, it suspends up in the air, and then you can put 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you can even put a panel on the bottom, so 5. You can put up to 5 woofers, all playing free air. They go into this room. So, and of course, the downstairs, the basement will have that as well. But in order to make those two connect, you'd have to open up the door that goes to the thing. Anyways, so that's the way to go, is if you want to go really badass home theaters. You can also do it in the attic if you want. I remember Ted at Speakerworks, when he was working at home, he got some sort of special closeout on the JL Audio 18 W6 cones. They were just a little warped, and he put it together on the PA frame and then stuck it in his rafters, and it was fucking amazing. And he had only like 100 watts going to it. So I was shaking the shit out of everything. So let's see. Bass mechanic. Good boobs. Look at this thing. Jesus Christ. It reminds me of my buddy Lucas. My buddy Lucas had bought a drug kingpin. It was like a Ford, what was it? Expedition. And it had bulletproof glass. And it was like super heavy deadened, for bulletproofness. And he turned it into a bass machine with a big diesel on it and all that kind of shit. So shout out to Lucas Cider, my little German friend. Kicker, subs kicker, coat arm leap. That's kind of cute. That looks cool. When they do the custom screen printing and shit like that. Clean engine bay. There we go. Just a couple of guys in some shorts. Audio control, crossover. Well, you have to have the crossover because these amps don't have crossovers in them. They're purists. It's so dumb. Corvette. Just so you know, on Corvettes, typically what I do, or did when I did installs, was I would run the negative cable all the way to the battery. That's all. You can ground to the chassis if you can find the chassis, but this is a fiberglass car. This is all fiberglass, so you can't like bond to any of that stuff. You got to go deep dickin', as what's her name? Dana Wizen says, deep dickin'. You got to go down to the actual chassis that the whole thing is built on. So, but it's easier. Just this and boats is just easier. Like we used to sell wire kits that would have 17 feet of power and then 17 feet of negative wire. So I don't really want to call it a ground wire because it's not a ground, it's a negative. Lots of plexi. Look at that. What did he use? Audison. Somehow those are magic because they're even more expensive than PPI amps. Good work on the engine though. That looks fucking cool. So then of course you can drop these engines into oh, that was cool. The Aura, you can drop it. The LS swap is like one of the most popular things because you can get it's a crate motor that you get, and you can put it in a fucking whatever Chevette. You can put it in a piece of shit, and guess what? Now it burns fucking rubber. It's great. But Aura, they had another product. This was a gaming vest that you would put on, and then it would shake to the bass. They have updated versions of this, not from Aura, but from other companies that act like they're, they weren't doing this in 1993. These guys were doing it in the 90s, man. So this is the shitty one. Don't get the shitty one. And that's what it looks like. See? That's the Spider. This is made of plastic. It's a medium plastic, and it's probably urethane, because urethane they've been able to perfect and get it to the definite hardness that you want, and that's where skateboard wheels get their hardness is through a durometer, and you can get it down to like 90 durometer, 88, 95, 90. You can really control the hardness, and so you get the durometer that you want to get the FS that you want, but typically. This was the entry-level one, and the FS was only in, I think, what does it say? I think it was like in the 40s, which isn't bad, but when you want felt bass, you really want to have it in the 30s or really, really low 40s, like 40 hertz or even 38 or something like that. This month's, this is a bird of prey system. Oh, the T-Bird. Yeah, that was a really... that was a thing back then, was T-Birds. Hot setup from Orion. Vancouver, BC, A&B sound. Good weather, lots of Asians. That's just Vancouver, by the way. There's nothing wrong with it. I love a lot of great shows that are filmed in Vancouver. Music. IRS Records. Fine Young Cannibals on that label. They were really good. I liked them. I liked a lot of their songs. MC Solar. Who's MC Solar? I love the drug references in some of these older musics before weed was, kids. There was a time where weed was just as bad as heroin in the eyes of the government. Not so much anymore. But, there's still people that are doing 30 to life for a bag of shake. Is that the PSL? What is that? Oh, it's something. Pioneer. Oh, that's Pioneer. Or maybe is it Fultron? One of those. There you go. There's the free air with the Hermosa, or that's the Malibu. I like the Hermosa. This guy again. Ugh, get out of there. And then them again. That's it, guys. Sorry I had to do this in 2 parts. I'll make sure that I have plenty of memory. Relax is what they're telling you. Relaxed. And this one's got some stains on it. You can kind of see. I mean, the pages aren't sticky. It's not from me. But I love you guys. Tell me what you want to see, and I'll consider your request. Okay, not a fucking trick monkey, but I'll consider your request. Love you.